In this video, we get ready to replace the valve cover and the valve cover gasket in my 2010 Hyundai Accent. It's really easy to do, and I'll get started on this. So this is what I have going on. You can see the oil leaking all under here, and I was going to put a new valve cover gasket on it, but I noticed that whoever had the car before me broke the valve cover right there and RTV'd it, and I don't feel like dealing with that, so I bought a new valve cover. I'll put a link in the description of the video for a new one over on Amazon. It was like 48 bucks. It wasn't too expensive. This is an easy job. Let's get going on it. So I have a 10mm socket here, and I'm going to start by removing the wire harness channel up here. So there's a hose coming off of the air filter duct that goes into the top here. It's a clamp. You can squeeze it with a pair of pliers. Break it free. Swing that up and out of your way. There's another one over here. Good. Same deal. Coil screws at 10mm also. Pull your coils out. Just come out easy. Just leave them in the harness. It only really goes in one way. You'll know what position they go in. It's only four. One's longer than the others. Car's hot, don't let them fall in the manifold. Kind of put them to the side here, like I'm doing. So around the edges of the valve cover, there are 14 10mm screws. They go all the way around the perimeter right here, and there's two over here as well that we have to remove. So we're going to start taking those out right now. One there. Two. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then looks like 8 is down in here. So we're gonna throw a swivel on that one that's number 8 over here. It's kind of down under a bracket. Let's get your 10mm on it, break it free. Okay, we got that one broken free. Okay, number 9 is right here. Okay, number 10 is right here. Break that free. 11, 12 down in here. Then I've got 2 left on the other edge of the cover right here. So I took my extension off and I break these free. There's one there, there's one there. Those are the last 2. So those are all loose. I'm going to zip around and I'm going to take all those screws I just loosened out. And I'm going to take these out right now. You can put this bracket to the side. I've got all my little bolts loose, so we should be able to break this free. Okay. Gasket. There you go. So here's the corner that was broke right here on the valve cover gasket. The guy should have bought a new one. That's why I hate buying used cars. People do stuff. This was 48 bucks to buy this valve cover. It's plastic. Somebody might have tried to take it off. They probably pried up on it with a screwdriver. You got to be gingerly on this stuff, especially if it's plastic. And gasket's kind of all flopping around in there. So we're gonna put a new cover on it and a new gasket, and we're gonna clean up this area all in here too, and make sure it's all nice and clean. We're gonna hit it with like a rag and stuff like that. So we're gonna get this area all wiped down and cleaned up. Probably go over it a little bit with the razor blade. You know, make sure you don't gouge that aluminum. You got to go real slow in it. Be easy and gentle on it. Kind of go all the way around where your gasket, valve cover gasket seats to the head right here. Alright, so you've cleaned up the surface of the head and they get all of the old gasket material off. This is what you want it to look like. You want to get all the old material off. If you leave anything on there, it's a potential leak. So you want to pay attention going all around where the camshaft goes, around the side. It's going to take a little bit of elbow grease. I went in there with the razor blade, got it cleaned out. Just go real gentle. You don't want to gouge this thing at all. Just real gingerly go along, clean it up. And then after that, in spots I couldn't get in with the razor blade, I took a very, very, very fine piece of sandpaper, didn't press hard down on it, and gently went over the other pieces of gasket, and they came off pretty easily. Again, you don't want to gouge this thing. Just go over it, take your time. It might take you like a half an hour to get it cleaned up to this point, but it'll be worth the effort. So here's my new valve cover. It did come with the gasket, but the gasket it came with it looks alright. It's probably fine to use, but I had a Felpro gasket that I had purchased. I think I'm going to just end up using this one. It looks a little more beefy than the one that came with, and Felpro is a great brand. Everybody knows their gaskets, and it's quality stuff. This is the part number of the gasket, and I'll put a link in the description of the video too for the Felpro gasket if you want to get that. And let's get this gasket set into place. The Felpro gasket also comes with the coil gaskets too for the holes, but the new cover came with them already pressed into place, so I'm just going to leave these in there. Alright, so let's press our gasket into place, and just kind of lay it on top, line up all your holes. And we're going to start over here, kind of work my way around. Press it into place, make sure it seats properly. It'll only go in so far. Work your way around. Sure, these are seated where the camshaft provisions are. Should be good. So I've got a little bit of RTV silicone here. It's the black silicone. So I'm going to put a dab of it in the corners here, over here, and on the other side down below, just right in the corner where the gasket seats, to help seal it up a little bit better in those spots. Try to be careful with this stuff. It can make a little bit of a mess. You don't need a ton of it. Okay. Right now you can put your valve cover back on. Okay. So you're going to line up your ignition coil tubes, kind of press it down into place once you have it lined up. Looks good. I'm going to transfer my bolts over. Kind of left them in the same spot that they were in. That's kind of how I am. I think most of them are the same size, but put them back where they went. The bolt in this corner is a little bit of a stinker. It's hard to get in there. So if you have a magnet, it's going to help you out. There you go. That one's in there. Then remember you have two on the ends right here. So you're going to put your bracket back into place. Alright, so once you got these two caught, start tightening up all your bolts. I'm going to work my way around and snug them up by hand. Get started. There we go. don't forget to bolt your bolt that's down in here. There it goes. Okay, now I'm going to put my swivel back on. And I'm going to start over here and catch this one down in here. Now I'll start in this corner, we'll start snugging these up. You're going to want to go in a crisscross pattern. You don't need to crank down on these, just kind of snug them up. Okay, so I'm going to go back to where I started and kind of crisscross again and just snug them up. Okay, you can transfer your oil cap over. It's all set. And then you put your coils back into place. Just make sure there's no oil on them. Sometimes with those gaskets in and around the coils, they leak after a while. So it's common for them to leak and get oil in and around the coils. So just give them a quick wipe down before you put them back into place. You really kind of like going one way, it's pretty obvious. Take your 10mm screws, catch them by hand. snug them up. Don't have to crank on them, just snug them. Then you should have, let's see, 3 bolts that hold the harness in place. And they're 10 millimeter as well. Catch those by hand, same drill. Always want to catch the stuff by hand so you don't cross thread it. There's one over here. You know, this job will save you a lot of money if you do it yourself. It's not that hard to do. You know, as your car gets older, this car has 148,000 on it. It's common for these things to leak. So I'll put everything that we used in the description of the video so you can buy the tools, buy the valve cover gasket, the valve cover, you need one. The brand new valve cover was only 48 bucks. It's pretty cheap. Wasn't bad at all. Right. So make sure you hook up your 2 vacuum lines. You'll get a high idle. Ask me how I know. And then there's one over here. Put that in. Your 2 clamps over. Alright. Then this one. Alright. So this job should probably take you about an hour and a half. Really easy to do. And that should be all you need to replace your valve cover. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I'll reply back to you guys. And check out the description for all the tools I use. Thanks for watching.